Hi guys. Well, here it is. The live video started. I don't know how to share it. I can't seem to see how to share it. But I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to come and I'm gonna start answering these questions, and we don't have that much time. It's just a half an hour. So we're gonna really have to make this work. So let me just share it in a group real quick. Let me see. That. So whenever you guys come, just wave or something so I can know that you guys are here. Let me share it again. Swamp. And there's that. Alright, so I will get started. Hi Kelly, hi Nikki, hi Ruby. So let me see now. I'm gonna have a separate screen pulled up over here with you guys' questions. So the first question is from Veronica, and she's asking, if you don't have pictures of deceased relatives, can you use their memorial cards from their funeral? Short answer is hi Latoya, hi Mary. Short answer is yes, of course. Of course you can use the cards from the funeral. Perfectly normal, perfectly fine. And to be honest with you, you guys, you don't even really need any pictures. Hi Lakeisha. That's my baby love right there. So so you guys don't really even need any pictures of them. Like, the pictures are not for them to connect with you. The pictures are more for you to be able to connect to them easier. And I always say that they are within you anyways. They're like in you, Hi Ellie. So it's like you really don't need anything. Like, you can be in the middle of nowheres and still talk to them and still venerate them even over there. You don't need nothing. So whatever picture that you find from them, it's fine. My culture, we just make sure that there is no live person in the picture, and this is important because they can take that live person over to the other side with them. And this is why it's important, like when we are dreaming, and I know this is not a question, but I'm gonna say it anyways. So when you're dreaming, hi Amanda, hi Jeanette. So when you're dreaming, if the dead come to you in a dream, and it's one thing if they talk to you and just hang out and stuff, but in my culture, when they come to your dream and if they take you by the hand and you leave somewhere with them, you're done. You're dead shortly after that. So, that's why it's important for the live not to be in the picture with the dead. So, now, next question is, again, from Veronica, and she's asking, is your working altar the same as your ancestral altar? Why or why not? All right, so, when it comes to this, well, this can be considered my ancestral altar. I do leave candles over there for clients sometimes, and I do work over there as well. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm doing that for all occasions, okay? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I put the work somewhere else. But it doesn't, don't follow the dead in the dream, like, ever, and don't let them take you by their hand. Like, that's a no. So it's kind of like, because I know that a lot of people, especially the ones that are like Hispanic, are used to the boveda kind of thing, and the boveda is like very different than what I'm doing over here. This is not a boveda, and I had somebody bitch me out and cuss me out and talk shit at me because I was teaching improper boveda setup. I'm like, when did I say this is a boveda? It ain't. So it's like if you're doing a boveda, follow that kind of tradition. I'm saying that's all I'm saying. Just follow that. If not, then do whatever feels right. My personal opinion, my people don't mind the work being done over there. So I know I probably didn't answer, but there is no certain answer to that. Like you can, but you don't really have to, because like when you're working any spiritual work, you're pulling from your own power, and your own power comes from within you, right? But your power also comes from how strong your ancestors are anyway. So they are kind of involved anyways. So do as you feel is right, because they're going to be speaking to you and you're going to be feeling it. So trust that feeling. So let me see. Now, Nadia, is this Ruja? I don't know, because I know it's Ruza and it's Slavic. I would read it Ruja. So Nadia says, you have spoken many times about learning your own culture first. If someone is of diverse cultures, what are some things that can be done to find one's cultural path if one was raised without cultural traditions? All right, so first to this. What ethnicity are you, raised in? Is the first thing that I'm going to ask you, because your DNA can say one thing and then your cultural background. I know I say culture so much, but like, okay. So if you, how can I put this? If you are an American here, right? And you are mixed with many different ethnicities, right? So you are raised in the American culture. Thank you, Bella. So you're raised in the American culture, because yes, America does have its own culture, people. Like many different cultures. Different parts of America have different cultures. I've seen that. And there's nothing to be ashamed of when it comes to that, okay? There's parts of history I'm not going, not going there. Anyways. Hi, Veronica. I just answered your questions earlier. Now, within the household, what kind of ethnicity was predominant? Because I see a Slavic name. Maybe the Slavic culture was predominant in there, right? Maybe you guys were not following traditions, whatever, but it just matters like what ethnicity was predominant within the household. So if none was, if the American, was predominant, then you're going to go with the DNA results, right? Well, first of all, I would like everybody that is born here to kind of take a look at the folk magic that has been developed here in America, if your family has been here for generations, okay? And this is only for generations, and you are so mixed that you don't know where to start. So then look first here that with the folk magic that was done here, right? That developed over here with a mixture of all these nationalities coming together, right? And if you have done, welcome Veronica, and if you have done a DNA test, for example, and then you can see what you got. And even though the DNA tests are not 100% correct, they're not, because the way that they work, I made a video like this for the YouTube, and I think I deleted it because I'm like, I don't know if it's relevant, explaining how the DNA tests work. So it's like this. So it's like you get 50% from one parent and you get 50% from the other parent, right? Okay, so that's the only equal amounts of DNA that you get from your ancestors. Now, which great-grandfather or grandfather or whoever else, whosever genes that you have, hi Kathy, so whoever genes that you have, it does not mean that you're gonna get an equal amount of all of them, you may have a grandmother that is, for example, Norwegian, right? And you are, let's say, Chinese, right? The Norwegian may not show up because you may not have inherited those genes particularly within yourself, but they're still there. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So, but still, the DNA results are quite solid way to start, I guess. So start with that, and then pick the one that either pick the one that is the majority, right? Because it's like, I was about to say like the one that draws you the most, but then it does have influence, but sometimes it doesn't have influence. Like, for example, personally, and this is gonna blow your guys' mind because I'm from the Balkan over there, but I do have most likely just one, just one Native American ancestor, and this happened in the 1700s. How? Fuck if I know how. I don't know, but it's like I don't. I'm not gonna go and say I'm Native American, and I'm not gonna go and try because like, no. So just start with that. Start with the one that you have majorly in, and then go and get your academic books. I can't stress academic enough to everybody. Like, academic is where it's at, and also collected folk tales and mythologies, and these works, the material from the actual people, from the culture. Bella, you're asking a question. I need to answer these questions that were written first, and if I have time for yours, I will, because I was stressing that I'm not taking questions while I'm doing this. It's too short of a time. So if I have time, I'll get back to it, even though I kind of don't understand your question. All right. Now, the next one. So basically, what I'm saying, like, try with that. Try with taking the majority one and then work from there. Thank you, Angela. You're welcome, Bella. I think I'm gonna make it, but I really don't understand that. Like, if you can like expound, like, what do you really mean, and then I can get to it. Um. All right. So Teresa is asking, how many altars do I have and what are they? Well, I would rather not answer that. Now, money for now. Amanda is asking, money for ancestors. Do they need it? Do they want it? Real money or spirit money? So many conflicting opinions out there, and there is a lot of conflicting opinions, and this is mostly because, and these conflicting opinions come because of America. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I love this country, but sometimes it does damage, right? So it's like there is, the whole planet is here, right? And then everybody's taking from everybody, and I'm not sure, Haima. So I'm not quite sure if the ancestors are happy with that just yet, because this is such a new nation. Lose This is such a new nation, like one day, maybe 100 years from now, this here in America is gonna be more kind of together or something, kind of like one, maybe, but for now you really have to adhere to your kind of like a little bit to your own. So let's get back to the money stuff now. Spirit money is okay only if you are coming from a culture that has done that for thousands of years. Okay, that's my way of seeing it. Everything that I'm telling you guys over here is my way of seeing it, from my experience and from my knowledge. You can choose to apply it or not apply it. That's up to you, So that is the case for the whole ancestor money, all this fake money that is being bought, hell notes and stuff like that. That is only for the cultural, regular money. Exactly. So if your people, thank you, Angela. So if your people, those are icons. So if your people took real money, then give them real money. Now, you don't see that over here, but I have some, actual money on the table, because we give money to the dead. Like when we send them out, in the casket, we put money in their pockets. We kind of like shower them in money. The more stuff with the like money and presents and socks and watches and everything is in there with them, So follow that. whatever your culture, your people are doing for those funerary customs, do that. Sometimes when it comes to dresses or um pottery or like cups and stuff like that, and usually the ones that were used in while the dead person was still at home, right? So they're broken and left at the grave to be taken by this dead person, right? So just take it. It's broken, right? And now when it comes to dresses, like this is back in the day, like back in the day, they would burn this dress or this coins for the ferryman, exactly. So you would burn this dress, for example, in order for the dead person to be able to receive it. So there you go, another thing. All it takes, you just guys need to have, you need to really make a lot of research into your own culture, or at least one of the cultures that you belong to, and get the academic books like ethnology or anthropology stuff, that are made like from like professors, not pagan, neo-pagan and stuff like that. No. So now let me see. What is the other question? Tim, I'm gonna get to it if I have some time. All right. So how often should we feed our ancestors food? Maureen is asking that. How often? Well, hi Gay. So there is such thing as feeding them too much. Yes, there is. Now I'm gonna say it again. It depends on your culture. Now, in my culture, we have about 4 days of the dead, days of the soul. We call them Zadushnitsi, literally meaning for the soul, Zadusha. So that's what it means. Where we go to the graveyard, it seems like the whole villages and the whole cities, just go over there, like the city's empty, everybody's at a graveyard, and there's food and there's drinks and alcohol and people, passing out food to everybody, strangers and everybody's eating. And you have to eat it all, because if you don't eat it all, then the dead don't eat. So let's say if I bring some kind of cookies, right? I can't come home with those. I can't come back home with those. I have to give them away to somebody. I don't care if that somebody's going to take them home and finish eating them there or not. So we feed them like that only on those days, But sometimes there's cases when, like, let's say, if food falls on the floor, only food falls on the floor, and then you're gonna be like, oh, somebody's hungry, and now have no light. So you would be like, somebody's hungry, right? So let me move from here because there is no light. Yes, much better. So let me do this. All right, kitchen table. So, if that fell on the floor, that means somebody's hungry. Give them food. And a lot of times we say that the dead eat first, the ancestors eat first, and then you eat. So now it just depends on the culture. Again, I'm trying to give as much input as I can, but it truly depends. It truly depends how you guys, have done that in the past. And a lot of the cultures are very similar, but there is variations in between, So you gotta just, take a look at that. So, let me see now. Oh, also sometimes they do ask for food, and that is, don't not give them food if you are feeling like they are asking, because supposedly you're gonna overfeed them. Don't do that, because you don't know what they're working on. That food may be needed energy for them to work something for you. So if they're asking for something, just give it to them. Anything. So just do it. All right, let me see the next question. So Rachel is saying, I need to contact my grandmother who passed last September. I keep having dreams in which she is reaching out to me because she needs to tell me something. What is a good start for someone to make the connection? Well, first of all, if she has been dead for less than 1 year, you need to not do that. Now, I've never heard of feeding the dead every day. I want to know what kind of culture does that. Who does that? I'm not being an asshole. I'm really I'm really curious because I love learning about other cultures. Um, so okay, back to the grandma that has passed last September. So she has not been dead for a whole year. So she is not supposed to be dragged over here. What she needs is she needs prayers and lights and Santeria and voodoo. I'm not in it, so I'm not gonna speak. But that's interesting. All right, now, so what was I saying? Yes. So if she's been dead for less than 1 year, she needs prayers and food and light and incense, all for herself on the side, for only her, because she's still kind of like traveling, okay, to the ancestors. Now, after that 1 year, like a year and a day, then she's with the ancestors. Now she's with the ancestors. I know that you are. That's why you're speaking on that. Like Madi. I know. Um, yeah, I just keep in my lane mostly. So I know that Santeria and Voodoo are for initiates, and I keep it at that. I have respect for that like that. So now, um, once she passes that 1 year, then she's gonna be with the ancestors in general. But when it comes to contacting them, like after that, at this moment she may need something, so you start writing down your dreams to see what it is that she needs. She may be missing something. Maybe her funerary rites were not done. Maybe nobody's there to light a candle for her. Maybe nobody's there to clean the grave for her, so she needs something. So the best thing that you can do is pay attention to your dreams and ask for better communication and for your other ancestors to help with that. And then if you can't do that, then you need to get divination. Either do it yourself or pay somebody to do it for you in order to see what it is that she needs. She most likely needs something. Now, let me see another question. Marina says, my Baba told me that, Baba in our language is grandma. My Baba told me that your saint can only possess you in time of war, otherwise not to allow possessions because you may not make it back to your body. Now, to be honest, like from us, like from back home, I have never heard of a saint possessing you like that, because in like every region by us is very, very different. So I'm not gonna set a line that for what I know is what it is, and that's the bottom line, and period, and that's it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in my knowledge, that has not been done. But every region is very different. It's a small region, but every single little village, every single little corner has different stuff going on. So who the hell knows anymore with these people? But traditionally speaking, generally speaking, the saints are being seen as that higher power, right? The more elevated ones, right? So these more elevated ones are more connected, kind of like the duty of the men, okay? And they don't kind of possess, so they say. So they freaking say. So what the women, us, the ones that do possess, so it's when we fall in a trance, when we go into a trance, whether it's by dancing the kolo, the circle dance, or however you get into that trance stuff, what we get possessed with is the unclean forces. And I say this because they're called unclean now. So these are nature spirits, these are the spirits of the dead, and they come on you, and then the woman says these prophecies or whatever that it needs to be done, right? So that's why women are called unclean, if you guys have not seen my video about that. But that is the usual stuff that I have heard. And when you are possessed like that by any of these spirits, what needs to be done, there's rituals that are being done with swords, right? So these men, and these are the Rusalki, right? So these men are around this woman or these women that are in trance and saying all this stuff, and they're with the swords, they're guarding them. So now, in order for them to wake these women up and to make sure that no unclean forces are coming back with them, they have a solution of garlic and wormwood, pelin, that they pour over the sword into their face, into their mouth, over the sword, because the sword is the one that's going to cut that shit. So that's what I'm familiar with, but I will be more curious to, if you have more information on that, I would love to know more, because I know that every region is very, very different. All right, now, what else do we have? Kimberly says, I have an excessive amount of negative energy revolving around me. Tried some basic to moderate spells. Hasn't helped much. Was wondering if you could recommend a spell with good results. Like, I don't know what kind of spells you've done. But I really can't say with certainty what is it that it's gonna work for you. By principle, the way I was taught is divination has to be done in order for somebody to see what kind of energy needs to be worked with for that to work. But basic cleansing spell can be water or holy water. You can use Florida water. Even vinegar works, and then you can put some salt in there. You can put, if you want more aggressive cleansing, you can put some cayenne pepper in there, to get it more, kind of violent cleansing, But you can also use eucalyptus as well. Mint is good too. So any of that, basically, that's a basic one. But I'm gonna tell you guys, see that I was about to forget this because I was so busy answering questions. In 2 weeks, I have not made up the day first because I need to check my schedule, my children's schedule, my husband's schedule, so I can see the date. But I will have another half an hour like this where I'm going to want to do that for you guys, for everybody that can't afford. So just a very short sessions where I can answer these kind of questions, because I'm going to have the actual shells and I'm going to throw them and I'm going to see the energy. So that way I can tell you exactly what you need to do. And I'm offering this because I get one too many questions in the inbox about that stuff. And I do charge for that kind of information, but I will offer it for free for just about a half an hour to start with. And possibly every 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. All right, now that I'm left out of breath, we don't have that much time left. Let me see what else we have. So how is it possible to break a generational curse or bad energy that your ancestors have brought down to the family line? Now, I know that I gave you the link to the video, Ruby, that I talk about this. So basically, you do have to find out who is it that was wronged, because somebody was wronged, right? Either somebody was wronged and they uttered a curse, like a father or a mother scorned, that's the worst curses that can be done, somebody to curse you through the mother's milk. Horrible. Now, whatchamacallit? I've seen over. Thank you. You're welcome. So, or somebody was doing wrong, so let's say you're gonna have an ancestor that have done magic on relatives, right? Like harmful magic, right? So these are the kind of things that can get passed on, because as I've always said about that, like when you're doing harm to family, you're doing harm to yourself. Maybe it's not going to reflect directly on you, but it's going to reflect on your descendants, and it will manifest itself as a generational curse. So you have to find that out. Without finding that out, who it was and what happened, you really can't do much about it. And that's an honest talk. And that's an honest talk. It would be cleansings are going to be useless. You need to find that out. Oh, Lupe, you almost missed it. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna be here for another couple of minutes. I said it even on YouTube that it's gonna be on Facebook. All right, I'm gonna be clearer next time. But you know what, guys? If you guys are on my email list, I send reminders. So if you're not on it, go to ancestralwitch.com, scroll all the way down, and you're gonna find a little box, and you can put your email in there. So when these kind of stuff happen, you get reminders, and you links too. I put the link with it as well. So now Hannah is asking, What is your opinion of learning from the spirits, being self-taught? If a path has very few books, there's no mentor, do you think the spirits teach a person? And if there are loads of books and such, how do you wade through them to find legit stuff? I mean, anyone can write a book. How do you discern if it's legit or info or not? So it does make sense, because it's like I've been through that kind of stuff as well. This is why I'm always talking about academic things. Academic is very important, because there is no reason, you're welcome, Ruby. There is no reason for them to imagine shit, because academics are put through very hard scrutiny, very hard scrutiny. So they write stuff, with facts. So get the academic books. That. Now, I just need to take a little breath, because I'm seriously without a breath. Now, can you be self-taught? Yes. Yes, you can be led by spirit. But don't mistake that. A lot of people mistake that with being initiated by spirit. There is no such thing as being initiated by spirit. No, cut that shit. Everybody, cut that shit. Now, the problem comes in with this. When it comes to being self-taught, and when it comes to being spirit-led, it comes when it comes to your own discernment. Like discernment, I don't know. It was like you need to be able to see if it's real or if it's your delusion, because many times it's wishful thinking that that we get when it comes to this kind of stuff. So it's like, and it's like you, in all honesty, like you do need somebody else. Thanks, Kay. It's like you do need somebody else to kind of give you a second opinion, to give you an objective look into the stuff, because you can't. It's very hard to be objective when it comes to yourself. Like you really have to have a huge mastery of yourself in order to be objective with your experiences when it comes to spirit shit. Because you can't apply logic to that. There is no facts or anything. So it's like, how you're going to do that? So, yes, there is such thing as self-thought. But you can also get, just go so far with it, right? You can learn a lot on your own. But you can go so far. And then you would probably need a mentor if you want to go further. Maybe you're gonna be happy with with your where you are. Not everybody's meant to have all kinds of knowledge or to have who knows what what kind of path, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It just doesn't. It just is what it is. So yeah, that's it, guys. We are past the time. Thank you. I know I did not answer some of the questions, but you know what? I'm gonna write them down, put them aside for the next Q&A session. And I don't know why some of you did not get the email notification. I did send it out. I don't know how. I really don't know. So, but anyways, all right. So I'm going to put those questions down and I'm going to answer them next time. I'm actually going to give those questions priority for next time. So keep an eye out on the next scheduled dates. And I'll see you then. Thank you, guys. Thank you really for stopping by and for being here and keeping me company and having your trust in me. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.